Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of That's the Wrap. And today we are talking Ironheart, episodes 1 through 12. We finally seen a black girl shine.
We see black girls shining all day,
True.
every day. Yeah.
Thanks. It's great to see Riri back on our screens. Ironheart is here. And in the first 3 episodes, because that's what's been out right now, it's already given us tech genius, government drama. And one thing I do recall was about not shrinking her brilliance. Because it's something she says in episode 1 when she's talking to her MIT person. Sorry, I'm off track. But I just thought that was an interesting discussion at MIT. So Ironheart is here. It's created by Chinaka Hodge, showrunner with deep roots in Oakland. And who else do we know from Oakland, California?
Ryan
Coogler! The executive producer, Ryan Coogler. He's putting his stank on this series. And this series is powered by a young sister who is building her own future. One nanobot.
It's a nanobot.
At a time. Mm-hmm. So let's jump into Ironheart. What's your initial reaction, episodes 1 through 3?
Well, I think that they're all different, right? Episode 1 was kind of like a snoozer for me. Episode 2 was like, okay. And then episode 3 was like, oh, shit. So they brought the drama, but to me, it's like typical Disney, right? Where it's like, so
what was that? Because that was kind of silent. No sound effects. Yeah, it's a slow build, right? That first episode was definitely foundational, right? We haven't seen Riri since Wakanda Forever.
No.
And, she's back at MIT. Clearly.
For 2 minutes.
For 2.2 seconds, she's back at MIT. She is. I was trying to kind of get in her head of like having the Wakanda Forever experience and then coming back to college, right? She has been in the most technically advanced nation with tech she has never seen or worked with before. And she's able to just create. And then, coming back to MIT, I can understand why she was struggling with her academics, at least meeting those goals. It's not that she couldn't do it. She clearly can do the work. But I think it was just kind of, how do I get back into that mental state of doing schoolwork when I built something amazing and I want to continue building things that help the world?
So I see that. I kind of disagree. I thought it wasn't that. I thought that she was struggling against herself in the death of her stepfather, Gary, and Natalie. And I felt like she wanted to get this done as a tribute to Gary, like the money and this and this and this and this. And, and I felt that she used that guise of, I'm smarter than everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I've just been on this world tour and it's just been amazing. And now I'm back here with you. So I thought it was projecting and she was deflecting.
I mean, you definitely get the sense that she has not, I don't know if it's dealt with, but she's still in that grief. And
right.
Building and and I think going to Wakanda and doing all of that, she didn't have to necessarily think about it because she was busy trying to save the world.
Right.
And then so coming back to MIT,
you have to deal with it, right? I mean, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Grief is something that's not linear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have an end date. Grief is something that evolves as you evolve. But while you're in grief, you're learning different tools to process, right? To process whatever it is that you need to process. So maybe that's the word, process.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think being back at MIT, I don't believe she was ready to just be in that. So she's looking for distractions. She's looking, to do other people's work, getting money, like getting money to build, the suit was everything to her.
Right.
She's still at college. So she still has to meet her academic requirements. Yeah. And she's just like, nah. And then on top of that, she's committing crimes.
Fraud.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's where the fraud and waste was.
So they were like, sis, we can't. So then she's forced to leave MIT with bits of her suit that she can take with her. And then for them to cancel her student ID in mid-flight, like at least she made it to Chicago.
The thing was, knowing that you got kicked out, it's her audacity.
Yes.
That she is so much more than everybody else. You get booted out and you think your Riri at MIT.org email address is still going to be in effect.
.edu.
EDU, that's it.
Yes.
.edu is going to be in full effect.
Yes.
Like, it's just like, homegirl, you need to take this down a notch. Like, you are super genius, like, great, but your legs still get ashy. And I need you to hold yourself more accountable. Like,
you're still one of us. Like, you're still down here with the rest of us. Yeah. Yeah. That was true audacity. And how she was like, no. Like, how dare they? It's like, sis, you don't go to that school. Right. You don't go here.
You lucky they didn't press charges. Like, what?
Riri gets home and it's like, it's such a come down for her, right? Like, now she really has to deal with the grief because she is in the house. She's back home with her mama where Gary lived, her stepdad, where her bestie, like all of that is there. And she's still like, her sole focus is distraction by building this suit.
It's she's just running away. I mean, the suit is just, it's her distraction. Yeah. She don't want to deal. She may be home, but she still shut the door on her mama. She still be like, I'll see you later. I got to go someplace else. She's not trying to deal with that just yet.
No. And can I just say shout out to Cree Summer?
Always.
That was great.
Always.
I believe the character's name was like Madeline or something, but Cree is part of her mama's crew. And she was when I saw that, I was like, okay.
Yeah. In my head, since maybe I was like 16, 17, she has been my sister.
Oh, yes.
So it was nice to see my sister. It's always nice to see my sister.
It's always nice to see her for sure. And also love to see Cree Summer in Abbott Elementary. So thank you, Quinta, for that as well. So, okay, she's home and she needs money. And now let me just preface by saying, I don't know this. I've never read the comics. I don't know the Ironheart story. And I don't know if the character Parker, the Hood, I don't know what that story is with like how he got the cape. Cause I was like, is that the same cape that Doctor Strange wears? Cause it looks like it, but
I don't think so, but go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, so he comes into play at the end of episode 1, I believe, is when he offers her the job. Right? He comes to her, he finds her, he gives her the money. Remember,
you're missing.
Am I missing something?
Yeah, John. John was the one that reached out to her.
Thank you.
At the shop. And
at the shop. Thank you.
And said, hey, if you're looking for work, yada, yada, yada.
Agreed. Yes.
and gave them the pizza business card with Za down in the parking lot looking up, which I thought was very interesting, that he wouldn't yell like, yo, Riri, you good? Like, here she is talking to some dude that's kind of like strange, right? She just got back. So what the heck is going on? Like, who's that guy?
Right.
Not saying that he was going to harm her or do anything else, but as her friend, you'd be like if I was downstairs, if I was in the parking lot and I saw you upstairs talking to some strange guy that I didn't know, knowing that I would be like, yo, Nate, you good? Everything good? Right. So that person knows that there's somebody else besides you that sees them and that can ID them. You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't say anything. So I was just like,
And thank you for making that correction. It was John's character, and that actor.
I love him. I love him with my entire being.
I don't even know his name, like, off the top of my head. I know I have it on my list here. So, Manny Montana, right?
Yeah.
Just the way he speaks words.
The way he wears a hat.
Oh, child.
Oh, no, but all kidding aside, though, I think that he is an intense actor, and I love the way that he takes up space. I love the way that he commands and he moves in really close, like, to envelop the other actor in the scene. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't, he's one of those actors that doesn't need to say anything.
Yeah.
Like, he can just come into a space without saying a word, but you feel him. You feel him through the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's on his face, his nonverbals are, Yeah.
So John comes in, offers her a gig, or offers her an opportunity to make money. And because Riri is in desperate need of money so she can get the suit made, she's in. And I feel like isn't it the first episode, at the end of the episode, where she's sitting in the house, and she's she got the equipment, and she's sitting there with the nodule things on her head, falls asleep, and then her AI is born the next.
Are you going to, you jumped all the way to the end? Are we talking about the other stuff in the middle?
I just wanted to make sure, because I feel like I watched the first two and then took a break and then watched the last one. And I just wanted to make sure I'm getting my facts together, that it was at the end of the first episode where she's got at least the equipment to build the AI for the suit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to touch upon in episode 1? Because I know that was more foundational than anything.
Oh, we're not going to talk about when she meets the whole crew?
Yes, let's talk crew. Because we can jump right into the crew. Because Slug is downright my fate. Like, you talk about a presence on screen.
One, she has to audition on the elevator to prove that she is capable of surviving.
Thank you, girl.
Because you went from John all the way to the end. And I'm like, wait, there's about a half hour.
Look, at this point, I'm just like, I think my name is Naomi. That's where my memory is these days. So, okay, talk crew. What was your
I love this crew. I love the crew. Slug. I mean, face beat to steal from people. I'm saying, you better. He is the best, like, hacker. You know how all the other show hackers is like this nerdy person, lives in their mama's basement. Slug is just like, the devil is a liar. Like,
facts.
Face beat, nails did.
I mean,
hair did. Lip.
I was like, that's the kind of hacker I wish I did.
Yeah, right?
I just want to be like, yo. Yeah.
Blood sibs. Yo. Yeah, we're besties. I love
Clown.
Clown. I didn't
the pyrotechnic.
Yeah, I don't know about Clown.
She gave me Harley Quinn vibes.
Maybe that's why I was
bit.
like, I don't know what to think of her, right?
Right.
But I could tell that she is the comedic aspect because Rampage was sadly, but that's for a later time that we discuss. But I love me some Andre. He's hilarious. I was really hoping that, see more of him. I mean, yo, my man's named Rampage. And she was like, is that dude on Discord?
Girl. The fact that everyone called him Stuart.
I know.
Everybody else on the crew, it was their nickname, right?
Yeah.
But he was just Stuart.
He was Stuart, and he wanted to be known as Rampage. It reminded me when I was like in my early 20s and everybody I knew was like tagging. And so I wanted to start tagging, and my name was Hollywood, and nobody would call me Hollywood.
Use a lie.
They're just like, no, we're not calling you Hollywood.
Nobody calling you Hollywood, net. Ain't nobody calling you Hollywood. Oh my God. Hilarious.
So it's really interesting. The dynamics between all of them. Yeah. And just how much of a family it is, within everything.
Created family.
Yeah. Yes. So that I really liked. And I loved how they started. Yeah, it was foundational. And I was just like, but I loved how when he took off his shirt. I'm telling you, like, shout out brown men. My God. This damn thing. Ramos is like beautiful. And and then the tattoos with the veins that are red and it's starting to take over his body. So you knew, okay, it's coming. He's about to be taken over. And going into 2 and 3, you see like his abilities begin to increase. And by 3, you like, Riri, you in danger, girl.
Danger, girl. That episode title was on point.
Yeah.
On point. I thought it was wonderful. One thing I remember when Slug was introduced, and they're giving you a little background on Slug, and they mentioned that Slug is from Madripoor.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, I know that name. I don't know from which Marvel, because I haven't watched the Marvel series in a minute. So I was like, I know that name. Where is it from? And then, of course, it was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah. When they
and I was like,
there,
yes,
remember?
when they went to Madripoor, and you had High Town and Low Town.
He was dressed like a pimp. Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, that makes Slug even cooler to me.
Yeah.
Because Slug is from Madripoor. So
and then and also they are doing the work to tie this all in. And we see it in episode 2. And then get that better understanding in episode 3.
Expound. What do you mean?
Joe McGillicuddy. Of all the names that
of all the names he could have chosen.
He chose McGillicuddy.
I was just like, how many letters is that? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yes. So Joe gets introduced in episode 2, but I just want to say about how Parker and John created this family and how Parker lets them know that that's what, and lets Riri know when he meets her, that's what this is, right? The world out there is the world out there, but this is family and we take care of family. And you could tell that this group of people is his everything.
Yeah.
And
I
not
think
many,
mm-hmm.
not many villains, at least the typical villain has that family sense, right? Of the people around them. Usually they just like, you know, all right, he died. Okay, but I still need my money, right? Like a lot of villains that we've grown up watching, they're not very family oriented. So, which, of course, like even in the way Parker and his alter ego are introduced, I'm like, are they bad? Is he evil?
Well, I think all of that, you know how I feel about villains. All of that is relative, right? Because something is driving everybody, right?
Yeah.
And you could look at Riri and say that she's bad. For me, I didn't see what they were doing as bad.
Mm-hmm.
It goes against the norms of society, right?
Capitalism.
However,
mm-hmm.
those CEOs, are they bad for taking all the resources from people and then charging people to use things that's going to make their lives better? Like, so to me, everything is relative, and it's
true.
And it's looking at this story not as black and white to me, but as unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Riri gets caught up in that. This is bad. I'm bad. Right. When it's like, you're bad. She tells somebody that he's bad for doing this, but then yet she takes the money to go do the suit.
Yep.
Right. And Parker reminds her that, like, but okay, whatever. Like,
all right, sis. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
we all are doing what we got to do. Right.
Yeah.
The second episode starts off with Natalie. Mm-hmm. Natalie being the AI. And that is such a shock to the system for Riri, because she has not seen her in anything other than, her memories, pictures, videos and stuff, but to have...
Which she doesn't want to have. So she pushes it out, right? So.
Absolutely. So for Natalie to just be right in her face and saying, oh no, you're going to have to deal with me now because your brainwaves made me into your AI, right?
Yeah.
I love Natalie's comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I love that she brings some levity into knowing 100%. That Riri is dealing with the grief.
Also,
and you get to see.
It gives us an opportunity to see Riri
humanized.
Like, yeah, she's been a gloomy Gus. He's always serious. Like, girl.
She ain't that. She
You need a BM. You need a good BM. Lighten you up.
I can't.
And so for me, this Natalie was a breath of fresh air. She lightens it up. She's ushering Riri through actually dealing with the very thing that she needs to deal with. Mm-hmm. And also being that companion.
Yes.
That she needs.
Yes.
And she doesn't want to say that she needs, because she swears she's put on this earth to be solo. Like,
but you know what? It's her best friend got killed. So you know what? When you it's kind of, you know what I mean? I get that. I get it. I get it. I'm like, if you grew up with someone and then not only did she, but died tragically.
Yeah. In front of her eyes.
And then so did her stepdad. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. So that changed her whole world.
Completely.
And now, but Natalie being the AI is the writers, the storytellers saying, you're going to have to work through this grief, and she's going to be in your face. She's going to be in your ear. She's going to be, and I love that Natalie, in her way of trying to get out of the tech jail that Riri put her through, just shows up in front of Riri's mama.
Yeah.
That was a moment. Just seeing her, just sitting across from her and talking to her, like, oh. And then when she says, can you bring Gary back?
Yeah.
Oh.
And she said, nope.
And not even like, no, mama, I can't. It was just like, no,
I know.
sorry. Like like, girl, your mama's in pain too. But anyway. So I love that Natalie's there. And then also in episode 2, before we get onto the big heist, or not even heist, but the big job, I just want to jump into Joe McGillicuddy because I didn't understand what his purpose was, and other than being the guy that provided the tech that she needs, right? And he's going to clearly be more in the future episodes, but he's a quiet person. He's a quiet man, unassuming, and that, with the whole neighbor situation and just being the guy that gets used, abused, and he just kind of takes it. And Riri's just like, come on. You got to stand up for yourself. So what was your takeaway about Joe McGillicuddy, at least in episode 2?
I absolutely loved him. Mm-hmm. I knew that he was going to be much more. I like the dichotomy between Riri and Joe. And I was just like, he's kind of a pushover. There has to be a reason why. And I find out in 3. And then I'm also wondering, why is this man who's like probably middle management sitting in a cubicle, whatever he does, right? He's that rules guy. Like, why does he have all this arsenal? And then don't want to touch it, right? And then, I don't want to touch it. Like,
the man has a bunker.
A bunker.
A bunker.
But when he said he got it because he wanted to be closer to his dad.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I remember writing the note. Who is daddy?
Yeah. I said, who is his daddy? Right? So I was very happy. I love this scene when Riri and Joe are driving to the bunker and they're singing Alanis Morissette. I loved it.
How about, I haven't heard that song in a minute. You ought to know.
Oh, and on the radio all the time.
And maybe it's because I'm always just listening to like my playlists. But I downloaded that and then took a solid 10 minutes to download a lot of other songs from Alanis that I haven't heard in a minute that I needed to just have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that moment of them singing, first of all, amazing song. Like, come on. But those two having that moment in the car, it definitely took their relationship a little bit further than, just her showing up at his place, seeing him as like a dude that's constantly beat down by his neighbor. Everybody walks all over him, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But that bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, you just know how to get this stuff.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you were paying attention to the way that he was looking at her. He was staring at her as if he was reading her, trying to figure out who she is. So I was looking at that. I always look at those silent moments.
Yes.
And I pay attention to that,
Yeah.
Because it's in those moments that you're just like, oh, okay. Subtext. Let's see.
Do you think was it because I don't recall. So was it out of curiosity, or do you think he knew something about her already?
Well, that's a great point. Okay. I think it's a little bit of, I was thinking that it was out of curiosity, but then also I'm just like, wait, but it's Riri. Everybody knows who she is. So he has to know who she is, right? Right. Because who his daddy is, I'm sure that when she reached out to talk to him, he Googled her name. I mean, because that's how he found her, in episode 3, remember? So, I think it was just like a little bit of both. Like, we think, people walk all over him, but I think it's kind of a ruse to some degree.
I think so too.
To some degree.
Yes. Because then he comes off unassuming.
Yeah.
People who could be a threat to him would not necessarily feel like he's a threat to them.
Right.
Like he knows a lot of things. He's a high tech guy. He's similar to her, right? And the things that he knows. There's definitely more to him, and I know we learn a little bit more in 3. We can just say that we do find out who his father is, and I was gonna ask you because I was like, okay, I don't recall. Like I remember, I know the character, his dad Obadiah,
Iron Man,
and I know I've seen him. But I was like, I knew he wasn't a good guy, but I couldn't just kind of place. I'm just, all of this is to say, he was, at least at the end, he wasn't a good dude.
No, he was shady, but and greedy, and that's what happens. So let me just say, when I found out who his daddy was, that scene was so funny. It was like Obadiah is like, that's a
common name.
That's a common name. And you're just like, it has never been a common name.
Like I may have heard it once in my entire life.
And that's because your daddy's name was.
And that guy wasn't a good guy. I can see why he would want to keep that on the low, right? Yeah. And just go by Joe McGillicuddy because
I mean, yeah.
Joe McGillicuddy is the guy you see at Chili's, with his coworkers.
Joe McGillicuddy is the guy on Friday at 3:30 wants to schedule a quick meeting before everybody leaves on Friday. That's who Joe McGillicuddy is.
Yeah, he's going to Chili's by himself, actually. Yeah. Or there was like the work crew's already there and he just kind of shows up and they're all just like, what's Joe doing here?
Yeah. He's the guy that schedules meetings first thing Monday morning. Right?
Yes.
Like, dude.
Get a jump on things kind of guy. Yeah. So in episode 2, there, it's her kind of getting a little bit more comfortable with Natalie being the AI. We meet Joe McGillicuddy, and he is a resource for her in more ways than one. And I'm sure we'll see that expand in the other episodes. And hopefully, I'm hoping, praying that he does not turn and become a bad guy. Because I really like her having somebody like him to partner with. But we shall see. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to capture in 2?
2 is after the job was done, they got what they wanted from that first heist. So everybody's excited. Clown starts clowning.
I mean, that's why I think I was getting that Harley Quinn kind of vibe with her.
Yeah.
It's that like
she doesn't know boundaries.
None. But one thing I did want to mention about episode 2 was the big job where they hired Riri. That's the first job that you get to see. They're hitting up this company called Tunnel.
Yes.
And it is the most capitalistic-ish I have ever seen in modern time, which is building a private throughway tunnel for the wealthy that, of course, displaces everybody else.
Everybody else.
So they can pay a fee and get to downtown in 10 minutes, whereas everybody else, it takes an hour, right?
Yeah.
And they're paying this woman a fee, and she's building this. It is ultra high tech, right?
Yeah.
And here is, the crew, Parker and crew are just like, it's interesting. They didn't go for money. It wasn't really about money. It was ownership.
Yeah. Equity. I mean, when he said, I was just like, I don't even know if I hate you now. I don't. Like,
I can't be mad at that.
You have a plan. And it was when he said that, I was like, I need to know more of his backstory.
Yes.
Like, I want to know about John and Parker and what makes John want to take care of Parker and vice versa. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I think they're related, right? I think they're cousins.
Are they cousins? Yeah.
I want to say that they're cousins, but he did mention, Parker mentioned, like, I think he was on the streets at a very young age.
Yeah.
And that, whatever he experienced and however long it was before he reconnected with John and John took him in, and they are now building this, they built this team. That experience of being hungry, alone, unwanted,
right,
no capital, no money, and he had absolutely nothing. He was living on the streets. That, and whatever that experience is what is driving.
Yeah, this thing. This thing.
And the thing is, like, it's what he's trying to do. I think it is good, right? But that cape is not good.
That cape is not good.
Yes, but it gives him the power.
Right.
And that's,
it's swallowing him up. And you can see that because it's taking over more and more of his body. And as it takes over more and more of his body, his powers become more enhanced. He has more powers. Because when you said, I do believe that he said that the cousins, but is it in the black and brown sense of cousins?
I took it as
where I could say that's my cousin, but we're not blood related.
Right.
But we grew up together, so that's my cousin. Like, I didn't know if it was a black and brown, like, cousin situation.
You know what? I don't know. And I think it's part of the reason why he built this family.
Yeah.
Because of whatever relationship they have. And he's just like, I don't have, like, blood family doesn't matter. Built family is everything. Yeah.
But really, is it everything? Because in episode 2.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Rampage.
Got. So
that was you find out in 3 because he just goes missing.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody knows where Rampage is. And so in 3,
he ain't on Discord. Where he at?
Anybody seen him? Where Rampage at? That is definitely not happening. And it's in episode 3. She finds out that this kumbaya, we accrue, there's no killing in this, right? We are coming together to get our power in whatever way, whatever CEO they got to take down or whatever equity that they can get. But then you see that John is also the muscle.
Well, if we're talking about 3, John said something in 3 that really stood out. When he was chasing Riri, trying to unalive her, he said, Parker normally likes to be watching or a part of these situations, but I'm going to go through this even though he's not here. So I was like, oh, shoot. So he was there when Rampage was unalived. Okay. So now I'm seeing like a little difference, right? You see him shoot the security guard, but he stays alive. It's increments that it's going. And then, by 3, he's...
Oh, yes. He's full on.
Yeah.
Black eyes.
Yeah.
This thing has fully taken over.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It is fully in control. Yeah. And he is not about like, let me just knock you out. No. I'm killing all of y'all.
Yep.
Everybody gonna die. Because I found myself as I was watching the scene in the greenhouse where he unalives the CEO. And I'm telling you, Net, it was the tone. If that dude had just changed his tone.
I'm saying he didn't have to throw those pennies at him.
He did not. He was literally like, you're so below me that
yes.
He was just like, take your pennies.
Take your pennies. And then I was just like, you know what? Do what you want.
I know
it's what you want.
It's kind of like what I think Chris Rock said during the whole OJ situation. He's like, I know it's wrong, but I understand. I was like, bruh. First of all, he was just like, I know you're here. Like that, you didn't hear footsteps. So but that is such like these techie CEO kind of types, right?
Dickish.
Oh my God.
That is that dickish behavior
entitled
that they have.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right. So you're just growing plants. Why do you need all the security?
Yeah.
Like, why is this so high tech and you're just growing plants? And even they said that. They was like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what else is going on there? So they knew that this was much more than what the world sees, right?
Right.
But yeah, I was just like, dude, you could have just did what the homegirl did in the tunnel in the car. Pen? Thank you.
Yup.
Let me sign this, sir.
Yup.
The fact that he killed him, it was the way that this man spoke to him that I believe just took him. Yeah. Maybe back. That's when, it took him back to where now the hood has taken over. The hood is the enforcer. Right. Yeah. Riri taking the chance of her AI managing the suit while she is running around trying to get a piece of this suit.
It's like more audacity.
Yeah. And I think who brought it out of her to me is Clown.
Yeah. 100%.
When Clown went and got that suit and she was so happy with herself that she broke through all of his security and wore that suit.
And to say it in front of everybody.
Yes.
And to wear it. It's like going in somebody's closet and taking out,
wearing their wedding dress,
their Balenciaga jacket, and like, oh, finally I get to wear it. Like, what?
Yeah.
And then Riri co-signing on that.
Yes. Because that's who she is, right? This thing is I feel like this is new tech that she has not seen. She doesn't know what it is.
I disagree. I think it's entitlement along with those tech bros, right? Like, oh, you're here. That's how I see it. Because how you gonna go into somebody? Because if you're that like, yo, new tech, I never seen that. Then you would be like, yo, Parker, like, what is this cape? What's it made of?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can I feel it? That's that inquisitive. But she's sneaking around in the back. Like, what do you think it is? Like, she's the only one that should be able to do something.
Yeah.
And not
she's always the smartest person in the room.
Right.
There is definitely that sense of her. And I don't know, maybe I would be that way too if I was in Wakanda with Shuri, knowing that she's the smartest person in the room. Yeah, but I don't know.
But Shuri doesn't even act like she's the smartest person in the room.
She doesn't. She doesn't.
So I think that because Riri acts like this, there's a part of her that doesn't feel like she belongs. So she always has to prove herself.
Okay.
And it's like, chill out.
Girl, we see the suit. Yeah. You built this. We're good. We know that you are amazing.
The bio suit that she had, and she's just like, nothing's going to happen. And Obadiah is just like, yo, are we on 3 yet? Are we still on 2?
Yeah, we're on 3.
Oh, okay. And Obadiah is like, yo, Joe.
Joe?
Yeah, Joe. Ezekiel. Yeah. Right? His real name is Ezekiel, right? Zeke was just like, don't let this come back to me. I don't want them to trace this back. No. I got you. And then what happens?
Yes.
All that bio. is
there.
right there. And someone grabbed it. And that cloak showed Parker.
Yes, it did.
And the way that scene took place, like you see this shadow of this robot suit. Yeah. I was just like, y'all better do that.
He comes back. He didn't get the signature. He knew that John got left behind, and then he learns that John died, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the crew's there. So there is a level of grief, pain, all of it, right? They failed at this job because they didn't even get what they came to get. He didn't sign the papers, right?
And they almost died,
and he almost lost his entire family.
Yeah.
And there was a moment when they're fighting, when he killed the CEO. And at that moment, I thought he was going to rush. He was going to just go invisible, get out of there, and go save his people. But he was still in that space and waited for the guards. And I was like, is he just going to let them die?
I don't think that he knew that the thing had the doors.
He did.
Oh, yeah, because the guy sits there, the CEO sits there, and he has this smirk. He's just like, yeah, man, I was just like, yo, clip his neck. Like,
do what you got to do, bro.
Do what you got to do.
The world does not need this guy.
That CEO just was signing multiple signatures on his own death certificate. Oh, yes, can I sign this part too? Okay. And how about down here? All right, I got you.
Do I need to print my name and then write the signature?
I mean, so that tells me that he was just, when the cloak takes over, it's just all about revenge.
Yes. He goes full on. Like, Parker's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Parker's not in control anymore.
Yeah, because them security guards could have made it home to see their family. They wasn't doing nothing.
You know, one of them was just like, I should have called out. But I was just like, oh my gosh, is he going to let them all die? But then I was like, okay, no. What he was doing was getting rid of the security so that he can then, go do what he needs to do to get them out. But man.
Yeah, and leave nobody to say anything, right? Because when you kill everybody, no stories can be told, right? So
who is going to... Did someone pick up the fake skin?
So you see a hand.
And that was after John died. Or no.
No, it was. It was after John died. Okay. So remember, she's flying over and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then you see the bio skin. Yeah. And then you see like a hand, like somebody went to go pick it up.
Okay.
And then she's just like, are you okay? She's huddled. And she's like, no, I'm not.
Well, I think it was two things at once. It was him dying because she could have saved him. Right? Because Natalie comes with the suit. They're suffocating. So the door is now open. So I thought air was coming through. Now that I think about it, because the door opens and Natalie comes in. The suit takes Riri inside. Yeah. Right? And she's able to breathe. But because I was like, wait, isn't that like fresh air coming in? Like, why is he still dying?
Because
I wasn't sure. I guess it was too late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was safe in the suit, whereas he was still
dying. Okay. And then she left and she shut the door.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So
he's talking. He's talking like, open this door. And what fresh air was in there, it dissipated because he's eating it up. He's like,
I definitely didn't. Yeah, I didn't want him to die this soon.
I sure as heck did not want him to die.
Yeah.
But there was no other way that she could have had that situation go. Because if he's alive, then he's just like, yo, she got your cloak, so it makes things worse. But what she could have done was kind of like act like she could have went in and be like, yo, I'm here. And he's not, I got the body or something. You know what I mean? To act like but she has these big adult ideas because, she thinks she's like the smartest person in the room and she's an adult, right? And then when it cause and effect happens, then she reverts back to that little girl, right? Like, if you would just listen and lean on Natalie and talk to your mama, all this, you wouldn't have gone to that pizzeria.
Let me tell you, she's putting herself on this course, right? She really is just like, let me open all the doors to nonsense when I could just be here, like just leaning on the people.
Right.
Poor Roger. And I think that's his name, Natalie's bro, who is just trying to just be the good guy in her life. Clearly he likes her. I don't know if that storyline is necessary.
I wonder where that's going. And I thought his name was Za. Didn't she call him Za?
I don't know why I got Roger.
I don't know
why I thought his name was Roger. And which I remember going, why is his name Roger? He don't like who's
he doesn't even look like a Roger.
Name the kid's Roger, but whoever his name is, I just was like, I don't know if we need this. That seems like it's a lot, but
I'm not mad at it. I just want to know what is the purpose of it. And I know that it was the anchor in the first couple of episodes for her with Natalie. Yes. I get that. And clearly there's something brewing, like when he wanted to go out, take her out, and they went to go listen to live music. And I actually downloaded that song, Fearmonger, that they played. That is hot. Like, I'm just like right on my stuff, like downloading it.
The soundtrack on the show is already hot.
Yeah.
Already hot.
And I'm seeing that a lot now, like with Forever. Right? It really helps drive the story.
It does.
It always did. It always did, but TV had gotten away from it for some time. And I see now that it is really coming back. And I love that other element of storytelling.
Yes, because the music, it adds to whatever's going on in that scene. And I find myself going, let me write this down, got to download it, or, so I hope that continues. So we leave episode 3. She is a mess at the end of episode. She is a mess.
A mess.
And I don't think not even Natalie can console her, because not only did he die, and he did. Not only did he try to kill her.
Yeah.
But then she had to defend herself. They were both dying.
100%.
Saved.
100%.
So she's dealing with that. And then knowing that Joe McGillicuddy, his days are numbered, because he left something very important. She got the piece with, I believe she still has the piece of the cloak with her.
The piece of the cloak.
She left
the main piece, that bioskin, that has all her DNA on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if Joe McGillicuddy could go on Google and find her home address, they coming for her. And
Danger's
her mama.
Coming.
And just
Danger's
the fact, like when the cops, remember in episode 3, when the cops came there, like she's the smartest kid. And that's the lie she comes up with. Oh, we interviewed for the same job. Like, you knew that he was on Discord. Why couldn't you just say, like, yo, like he's on Discord, I was on Discord, and I called him to ask about like engineering stuff, but he didn't answer.
Because you can see that she's flustered. And her mama right there going like, what do you know about this? Somebody died?
Also, what job interview? That's That's what I was looking at her mama's face. Like, her mama was like, wait, what job interview?
Yeah.
You just got back yesterday. Like,
yes. She's bringing trouble into the lives of the people that are left that care about her. Because all because of grief. Like, listen, all of this is being.
If Burn It All Down was a person, it'd be Riri.
If Come At Me was a person, like, she is just great. Like, she is just out there going, yes, just bring everything to me. It is a profound testament to how people move when they are grief stricken and they're not
and they don't know it
themselves to deal with it. Yeah.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
They think, oh, I'm not thinking about it. So how could I be angry or upset or like thrown up? Grief still happens.
Yeah.
Bad decisions.
So now you got a dude who just lost a family member that was very close to him.
Yup.
He didn't get what they were supposed to get from this whole heirloom job.
Yup. And now eyes are going to be trying to find them. Yup.
And now he sees that you are responsible for the death. And probably you were responsible for this job not going the way it was supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true.
So
he's not an enemy. She's gonna
not at all. Not when you got that cloak on.
No.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. She got so many people upset with her, and more people are going to be upset with her, such as Za, when he finds out that she has an AI of Natalie.
Yes.
And didn't tell him.
Yep.
And she's harboring all this stuff and not even helping her mom with it. Like, if you have all of this information, have all of this knowledge, have all this technology, and then if it's not to help the very people that you know and love, then what is it for?
Yeah.
And I think that she really needs to be honest about it.
And can I just say that I am mad that Parker refers to it as the hood, because I had flashbacks of Arrow, when Arrow was referred to as the hood. Oh wait, was it Arrow? Yes. Remember the TV show Arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Before he called himself the Arrow. Yeah. Eventually, I think everybody referred to him as the hood because he wore, like, God, I feel like, wait, do I have my superheroes mixed up? Because it wasn't the Flash. So I want to say it was Arrow where they called him the hood. And I was like, oh,
it
please
couldn't have
stop.
been the Flash. I don't remember them calling it. Yeah.
No,
I just think of uncircumcision the hood. Like, I'm glad that he went with Arrow.
I think, okay. Wow. The uncircumcised penis is also known as the hood. Oh my God. So what do you think is coming in episode 4? Is
the hammer?
Do you think that because she has a piece of the cloak, that it's similar to the Tom Hardy? Yes.
Oh, like Venom?
Oh, like Venom. You know how when you take a piece of Venom, it's still connected to the whole?
Yeah. I'm wondering. So. I don't know. I don't know. I'm open to see where they're going.
I think that would be kind of cool.
It would. That'd be kind of dangerous, but
I'm interested to see what information are you going to get out of this thing now?
Yeah. I mean, this is the very thing that's going to pull Joe McGillicuddy from being Joe McGillicuddy to being Ezekiel. 100%.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in that bunker. He's going to have to be in that bunker.
She's bringing all of the danger. He was flying under the radar sweetly for so long. Like, I could just be home doing my own thing, blah, blah, blah. You showed up at my house and it's just been danger ever since.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So that's 1 through 3 of Ironheart. I really want you guys to hit us up in the comments and let's talk about
what do you think?
Episode 1 and 3.
What do you think that cloak is going to be? Like, what do you think they're going to find? Is it going to be like Venom or is it going to be something different?
And is that cloak? I still want to say it looks like what Doctor Strange had on.
Yeah.
It doesn't move like the one that Doctor Strange, it doesn't move on its own.
It doesn't.
So
it doesn't.
If you guys
it was on the floor. Because remember, there was a scene when it was on the floor, and I thought that it was going to like stand up,
move
by itself, and it didn't. So I was like, okay, what is that? And then also, what's in his veins? Because it's like the growth is in his body, so it's the veins plus the cloak, not just the cloak on its own.
And you see, like in 3, how it is just
it's coming all over.
No tattoo gonna cover that.
Not at all.
There ain't enough tattoo. There ain't enough ink to cover that.
No.
And I'm also wondering how the team dynamic, the family dynamic, is going to change, because now that he doesn't have John, and he knows that Riri had played a part in John being unalived.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what the dynamic of the family is now going to be. Is he going to be angry now because he's always kind of been leveled? With them.
John was the office manager, right?
He was.
He was the office manager. Now he gonna have to like monitor everything, and it was good cop, bad cop, and he was always the good cop. And now dynamics are definitely going to change.
Yeah. Ooh. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us. Please hit us up in the comments. We definitely want to talk to you guys about anything and everything related to Ironheart. If you want to jump in there and just give us some history, would love that too, because that may help in how we view future episodes. So thank you all for joining us on That's a Wrap.
That's a Wrap.
See you guys next time.